Hello, welcome back to my channel, or if this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Sarah, and on this channel, I cover anti-MLM and scam commentary. If that is your sort of thing, please do stick around, consider subscribing, like this video, leave a comment, and with that, let's get started. All right, guys, today we are diving into Bomb Party, and we are not just going to skim the surface. We are going to really look at this company under a lens, under a microscope. So this is probably going to be a long one. Get comfy, get cozy, grab some snacks, all those sorts of things. Let's dive in. This is an MLM that you may not have realized was an MLM, but I can almost guarantee that you have stumbled across it while mindlessly scrolling on TikTok. It is one of those things that will be on TikTok Live. It will be a rep sitting usually at a table. They will have a pot or a bowl of boiling water or warm water. They will have these essentially bath bombs. They drop them in. The live chat is usually just like going crazy. There's usually music. Sometimes they have a neon light with their brand name, shelves of product behind them, of inventory, and they will reveal jewelry. It's usually rings that are inside some type of foil. Otherwise, they have moved into doing bracelet stacks. And at first, for a lot of people, it kind of just seems like a very high energy shopping experience. But there is something about these that keep people watching. I know it happened to me. I've had multiple people who have said, oh my gosh, I got sucked into watching these. All of a sudden, 20 minutes went by, an hour went by, and I'm just sitting there scrolling through, watching these random people in their homes, in their garages, or wherever they're at, revealing random jewelry. And I personally think a big part of that is sort of the intrigue. It almost feels like you're like stepping into a world where everyone else seems to know what's going on except you. They're using different verbiage. They're talking about unicorns. They're saying to put stuff in the chat. Everyone in the comments seems to know what the rep is talking about other than you. And before you know it, you're maybe not just casually observing, you're sort of invested in watching these reps. And that is what makes Bomb Party, I believe, so effective and pretty concerning. I am sure that almost every single person watching this has seen Bomb Party on live because I've watched so many of them, especially to prepare for this video. It is all my TikTok Live algorithm gives to me now. So I want to show you, just like as I was scrolling through one day, just one after the other, what these Bomb Party lives are looking like.
Double sealed, so you know it's not revealed. Good luck! I'm so excited. Yes, 9 and 10. The 9.
I will definitely tune in, Miss Raven. Are you guys getting excited?
Just kidding. Do I go maybe now?
Oh. 55. Miss Ma'am, you got like brown tourmaline. You got like a whole theme.
This is really cute, and I love the name of it.
These TikTok live streams, I believe, are not just about selling or revealing jewelry. They create an entire atmosphere that is meant to pull people in, and it is working. A majority of viewers have no idea that this is an MLM. Most people just sort of start watching. They're sort of interested in the energy of the live chat, and then all of a sudden, some people are falling for it and start to essentially start caring and having a parasocial relationship with these reps. And this is where I believe Bomb Party stands out when comparing them to different MLMs. It is pulling in people who have never been in network marketing. And I can't say for sure why this is happening, but I do have a few guesses. The reps do not often talk about joining my team, joining my business, or all these income claims. It's just usually a live shopping experience that you're happening upon. You're not usually on their profile seeing the rest of their feed. You're just scrolling through, and a TikTok live of them doing their sale is showing up for you to watch. So instead of them pushing like a ground floor opportunity like other MLMs will present, Bomb Party makes it seem like you are getting involved in something fun. And I believe that by the time that a lot of these new sellers, people who have never been involved in multi-level marketing before, they are intrigued, they sign up, they're like, oh, this looks like really fun. It's not necessarily being sold as like a way to make extra money. Sure, some reps do kind of allude to that being the reason why they joined, and they will share that with the people in their live chats. But a lot of times, I think that people are just watching and they're like, this looks pretty fun. I kind of want to do this. And by the time those new sellers realize what they've signed up for, they have already spent hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on inventory. And they're doing what every other Bomb Party rep is doing, just trying to stay relevant and just trying to make some sales. And TikTok itself as a platform makes this a lot easier to fall for. And honestly, this is a theme that's going to come up often in this video. video is talking about why this is working, what Bomb Party is doing, and how TikTok is sort of the platform that it works on and why that's problematic. And the place we need to really start with is the fact that unlike Facebook or Instagram, on TikTok, you are not allowed to promote MLMs, which means that they are not supposed to have any obvious like join my team type videos, no things like income claims in their captions, or any like obvious recruitment pitches. So reps often have to be a little sneakier on the platform about discussing the fact that it is an MLM and that you would have to pay to get a starter kit. So instead of openly recruiting like we see in so many other MLMs on things like Facebook and Instagram, they focus on selling and building hype and making sure that their live shopping experience is super fun, super exciting, and makes you feel intrigued enough to ask, hey, what is this that you're doing? And then ultimately, when someone in the chat asks them, hey, like, how can I sign up to do this? They're getting a response from the rep on the live saying, like, just send me a message and we'll talk. So it's not like a casual invite, like, oh, just DM me, just send me a text or whatever they mention. It is just a workaround because essentially they shouldn't be talking about MLMs on TikTok. And what I find to be super interesting is that I feel like people aren't as prepared to see MLMs on TikTok. And that might be just because a lot of reps haven't moved over there because they know that they're not necessarily supposed to be sharing the business opportunity on there. Whereas Bomb Party is thriving there and a lot of people don't recognize it as a multi-level marketing company. So instead of initially questioning it like we would maybe on Facebook where you see something like this vague thing about income claims or some wellness brand or whatever it is where you're kind of like, is this an MLM? Bomb Party, it's less so. They aren't as flagrant. Usually viewers are just seeing a fast, fun, live event and not solely a structure that is like mostly based on talking about recruitment. But let me be clear, behind the scenes, it is the same MLM playbook. We will get into all of this. Stick with me if you're not someone who usually follows MLMs or looks into anti-MLM content. I promise you, we will just go over everything as an aerial view, but I think it's really, really important. Bomb Party, like other MLMs, they still rely on you signing up with a starter pack. They rely on you purchasing inventory, which is actually unlike a lot of MLMs nowadays. And always the constant pressure for you to buy more inventory to then sell in these lives. Bomb Party still heavily relies on recruitment. They want you to buy inventory, especially wanting you to buy inventory so that you can continue selling on your lives. And that is actually why I find Bomb Party to be so concerning is the fact that most MLMs nowadays are not requiring people to hold inventory on their own. Like most companies, if you purchase something from them, it will come from corporate or some mailing center that they will then ship it to you. The reps aren't necessarily having to have things in their home or pre-buy inventory to then sell later. That's not the case in Bomb Party. They're buying these things wholesale and then sending it to you and they get a commission of that. So today I am going to break down how this whole system seems to be working, why it is so effective, and how people are getting pulled in without realizing what they've signed up for. To kick things off, let's get started with this.
Old finger hearts. I have no more pumpkins. I missed the pumpkins. Gosh dang it. Let me do a little restock for you, Miss Denise. All right, Denise, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. A through I, my friend. Thank you, guys. Shelly, party is closed for tonight, girlfriend, but I'll be live again on Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. D, A, B, C, D. Okay, that's your OG earring. Let's get your sterling 10. Sterling 10, October 2023, size 9. Ooh, you got my lucky last of the October 2023, size 9. OG size. Okay. And then an OG size. All right, Miss Denise, are we ready, my friend? A, B, C, A, B, C, D, E, F, A, B, C, D. All right, one more time. Oh, me pick 'em all. Gosh, Denise, I love you. 2 for your sterling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's do 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going 4 on that one. Okay. And then you also have a fall stack. Yeah, I think just a fall stack and then we're good. Hi, guys. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Sterling size 10 and your OG size 9. Oh, let me pick also, I love you. You are phenomenal. Okay, that's. Fall stack, OG earring, OG size 10. Perfection. Denise went all out, folks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's do... I'm gonna go 1. If you ain't first, you're last. All right. Second haul of the night. The haul be haulin'. All right, folks, can we please get Miss Denise all of the diamonds, unicorns, and turkeys in the chat? Thank you, Kaylin, Leanne. Thank you for the follow. Here are all your rings going in. Sterling 10, October size 9, OG size 9, OG size 10. 1, 2, 3. Don't overflow. And 4. Diamond number 14. Come on, y'all. Thank you, Fernanda. You're so sweet. Thank you. All right, here is your fall stack, girlfriend. Holy guacamole. This is Dream Chaser, Lab Created Stones, Golden Hematite Plating at 132. 1 piece, 2 piece, 3 piece. I am obsessed with this bracelet down here.
Okay. I just had to let that play for a little bit. If you are sitting there like, what the hell did I just walk into? That is probably the reaction that most people have when they come upon these parties, especially the specific rep. She's obviously very high energy. She's very good working with her crowd, talking to people in the comments, and all of those things are exactly why this business seems to work. These live sales are meant to kind of feel like it's more than just buying jewelry. The host is talking to people in the comments, especially the people that are purchasing from her, like in real time. And they make every order that they get as like this big event. And even if you're not buying, you still kind of feel like you get the energy of the people that are in the room. And that really does matter because most people will hop into these things and they're not going to purchase immediately, but they will watch. And the more that they watch, the more it starts to feel like dropping 20, 40, 60, however many dollars on this kind of feels more normal. And then you'll see someone pull like a big one. They'll get a diamond, a unicorn, or whatever these things are. Again, there is a lot of different verbiage that the reps use that I still don't even fully understand that really gets people excited of like when they say a unicorn. One, I assume that is jewelry that every rep isn't getting. It's like a very special one. And that part of it makes it feel very intriguing. And suddenly it's not just, oh, I purchased like a $36 ring. It's like something bigger. And if you are wondering if people are actually buying a lot of this, they are. You even saw in this last clip that we just played that person ordered a lot of stuff. Now look at this. This is the same rep at a different sale that she was doing. I think this is like 9 bracelet stacks and 6, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and like 6 boxes of something else, maybe jewelry, maybe bracelets. That is not a casual order. That is a massive haul. I can't even like guess how much that would all cost the person. In the chat, they love it. People are seeing things like this. And then in this screenshot alone, you'll see someone said, if I don't see the chat flooded with diamonds and unis, which means unicorns, I left for a minute and this is the haul I come back to. Heart eyes, what? And then someone else says, OMG, what a haul. This isn't just shopping. It's like a very full-blown event. And I believe that buyers aren't just buying jewelry. They're kind of trying to impress everyone. They want that validation. They want the hype. And that dopamine hit of hearing the rep call their name out. And at this point, this is where it stops being jewelry. And I want to kind of back up a little bit. I know that a lot of other anti-MLM creators have covered Bomb Party, and we are going to touch on MLM talking points of this, but I really want to get into like the nitty gritty of discussing like the gambling part of this, what we're seeing happen on TikTok as a platform itself. I will say that I have covered Bomb Party before. I will link the videos that I have covered reps in top MLM fails videos, as well as some other anti-MLM creators that have talked about Bomb Party kind of from the beginning. Okay, now back to this. At this point, it really stops being about the jewelry, and I believe there's more like a psychological aspect happening. Because here, when someone drops like $80 on mystery jewelry, the chat starts to like explode, and then they get that dopamine hit. It's that rush, the excitement, the reinforcement. It is all designed to keep people engaged. And I believe that once like a first purchase by a buyer happens, there is a shift that is made. The host now knows their name. They may even be considered like a regular buyer of them. The chat will then start to hype them up. So instead of just being someone who's like a casual observer, they are now directly in this. And when that happens, buyers sometimes will get very hooked. And that is why I believe that TikTok is perfect for for this MLM. It turned shopping into a high-stakes communal event where urgency keeps people hooked. And the algorithm makes sure that it stays that way. I believe that TikTok is the only platform where Bomb Party can thrive. You're not seeing these ring reveals take over Instagram and Facebook, and there is a reason for that. TikTok's algorithm seems to be pushing lives way harder than other platforms are. And the key difference here that I believe is happening is, unlike Facebook and Instagram, with TikTok, you don't have to go and look for the live streams. A lot of people are using TikTok and they're just scrolling through, watching a lot of random videos, and then you will just scroll down again and you will see a live stream. So people will come upon Bomb Party, kind of be like intrigued as to what's going on. Again, because there's that element of like seeing people in the chat. It kind of feels like everyone knows what's going on other than you. So you watch and you're like just trying to get some sort of context of like, what are these people talking about? Is that a bath bomb? What are they putting in there? And then you sit and you watch, and suddenly 20 minutes goes by, an hour goes by. And that is the trap. You didn't seek it out. It found you. And the longer you stay, the more TikTok will start feeding you videos like this. Other platforms make you choose to watch live streams. Like when you're on Instagram, if you see someone went live, you have to click on it. On Facebook, you usually have to be following the person first. But on TikTok, live shopping is unavoidable. The app is just throwing at you. There's no invite needed. And this is what makes Bomb Party so effective. It's not about selling jewelry. It's about creating an event. And it's all designed to remove that moment that you may stand back and be like, wait, do I actually want to order this? Or wait, do I actually want to join this business? TikTok is perfect for this. And when I say perfect, I don't mean that in a good way. I'm just saying that MLMs like this, like Bomb Party, are going to thrive on platforms like this. Everything about the platform, like so many of us know, it's so easy to get sucked in. You're just scrolling, and then suddenly hours have gone by and you're still just sitting on TikTok. So when live streaming gets added into the mix, it is so dangerously easy to get stuck. What is TikTok actually getting out of this? Because as I mentioned before, you are not allowed to promote MLMs on TikTok. So Bomb Party isn't just exploiting TikTok's algorithm, TikTok is benefiting from it. Live shopping, like these Bomb Parties, keep people in the app longer. And on TikTok, watch time is everything. The longer you stay, the more ads they can serve you, the more data that they can collect, which means the more money they can make. And these streams, their engagement gold. The constant chat interaction signals high user engagement. Every sale will trigger a dopamine hit, even if you're not the one purchasing, which keeps people watching longer. And because it's happening in real time, people are less likely to leave because maybe they don't want to miss out on anything. It's not just Bomb Party and Bomb Party reps that are profiting off the hype. TikTok is profiting too, because I want to be real. If TikTok wanted to crack down on these, they could. They already essentially say that they ban MLM recruitment posts, and they have content moderation for scams. But these live sales, they drive huge engagement, which means longer session times and nonstop interaction. All things that TikTok's algorithm rewards. So even though technically MLM recruitment is banned from TikTok, it is my belief that TikTok is in no rush to shut these things down. Now, I believe that this isn't even just shopping. It is gambling. Buyers get to choose a size of ring and a collection of ring, but beyond that, it is a roll of the dice. You don't know what you're going to get until the big reveal. And I believe that that mystery, that is the hook. It's the same setup as like a slot machine. You place your bet, buy the ring, pull the lever, wait for the ring reveal, and if it's not what you wanted, just try again. And that unpredictability keeps people spending. It's like this intermittent reinforcement, which means that sometimes you win, sometimes you don't, and that maybe next time feeling is what keeps people going. And this is the thing, is that you don't even need to necessarily be buying to get pulled in. Like with the cost of what these rings are, like you could essentially probably find them on Amazon for like $5 to $10, but people are purchasing them for like $40 because you're throwing in these flashing lights, a high energy host, a flood of emojis in the chat, and then suddenly people are buying in multiple times a week. And it is so very, very intentional. I really, really want to make that clear. Everything that is going on here is definitely purposeful. The setup is designed to make it feel like an event. The reps have curated backgrounds. They'll have neon signs of their channel name. The hype makes it feel very exclusive, like every reveal is some big win. And that pressure keeps people spending, because if you don't buy now, that rare ring, it may be gone. And just like in a casino, the longer you stay, the more you're gonna spend. People are dropping hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars on this mystery jewelry. And I believe that even when they realize what has happened, they don't stop because in that moment, it's like it doesn't even feel like real money. Everything is moving fast. The checkout is super quick. The host is hyping you up, and the reveal can sometimes happen before you've even had a second chance to rethink your purchase. It is designed to make sure that you don't stop and think, and that is exactly why it seems to be working. Now, as for the sellers, because this is where we're going to get into the MLM part of things, is this even a real business? No, they don't own it. The bomb party reps don't design the jewelry. They don't even pick the jewelry. They just make orders and then they get what they get. The company is sending them these like factory-made foil-wrapped rings that are inside. They're just bath bombs. And their entire job is to make it seem like these rings are worth more than they actually are. And remember, what they have to do is they have to buy the inventory up front. And they are not just spending a little. They are spending thousands of dollars to stockpile this inventory so that they can have it available during their live streams. And if they don't sell all of it, that's sort of it. The company, Bomb Party itself, has already made their money. And if the seller decides to kind of like, I don't know, I want to leave Bomb Party, they're stuck with it. They will have like all this unsold jewelry and potentially like maxed out credit cards. And if you think behind the scenes that everyone is having so much fun and having a great time, not necessarily. The reps are not just casually selling jewelry and making money. There is a lot of infighting, especially as of late. And they're not fighting with like other jewelry brands. They are fighting with other reps. And they are fighting over this same pool of customers because there just aren't enough people to be buying this stuff. Especially when you've had customers that you have convinced to become reps. So the person is no longer going to be your customer. They're going to get their own customers and they're going to take even more people from you. Like, watch this. This is a Bomb Party rep who is calling out other reps for poaching her customers. And as a note, I'm going to start it kind of like in the middle of her video. She talks about some other things in the beginning, but I want to get to the right to the part about poaching.
The second thing is, please don't poach. Please don't poach. What is poaching? If you come into somebody's live, and this might be why people don't like, other fizzers don't like it when people come in and say, hey, I'm a fizzer too. Because things like this have happened. My customers have let me know that over the last couple of weeks, I've had some people who are also fizzers, not necessarily on my team, who come into my lives. Some of them have ordered, and I appreciate that. But it does appear to be poaching if the people you get a follow request or you follow request, you send a follow request to, are the people who are right before you and right after you when you order. And that's not a good look. I would never do that to another fizzer, whether they're on my team or not.
And just for some context, when she says fizzers, she means other reps, other people who are fizzing this jewelry. And the comments on this video I thought were very interesting. There were a few that said, I had to unfortunately block some reps that were doing this, made my heart hurt because I trusted them, made friends, and then bam. Someone else said, this is when you know the market is oversaturated. And then another person said, when I first started, I had a few random reps I didn't know come in my room and announced their sale codes. I was flabbergasted. There is no need to poach. These reps are essentially selling all of the same jewelry from the same company, and they're selling it all at the same price. But because of how live shopping works, every customer interaction is public. So when someone makes a purchase, someone else could see it. And when someone follows a rep, again, it's public. They can see that. In a normal business, competition exists. But here, there's not enough demand to go around. Like, for example, if you buy something from one store one week and then go to a different store the other week, no one cares. But in Bomb Party, the sales are happening live in real time, and the buyers are chatting in the comments. So when reps are seeing their own customers somewhere else, it's likely not feeling to them like they just lost a sale. It probably feels very personal. And in MLMs, in the grand scheme of things, the customer pool is relatively small. So because that's the case, these losses are going to feel even bigger. A rep isn't just losing a sale. They could be losing maybe the only sale they're going to get that whole week. And that is, again, it's intentional. Reps aren't told just to build a customer base. They're meant to build a community. They want their buyers to feel like they have this sense of friendship. So when a customer leaves to shop with a different rep, it is not going to be seen just as competition. It is going to likely feel like betrayal. But this is the real problem. There just aren't enough buyers for all of these sellers. And as people start to realize that, things get messy, as they have recently. And the longer someone stays in, it's probably just going to get worse, because this isn't about just fighting over customers. It is about clinging to a business model that was never meant to work for them in the first place. And that is exactly what happened to this ex-Bomb Party rep. She signed up thinking that she was just going to be selling jewelry, only to realize too late that this isn't just a hobby. This is a financial trap.
Hi everyone, how are you all today on this hump day? So I just wanted to make a post really fast. I I'm in between patients, actually. I have a couple minutes before I have to see another patient. First of all, I just want to address the whole, and I'm just going to do this one time. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. Why I've left Bomb Party. I've seen a lot of people on here and doing their why they left Bomb Party. I wasn't even there very long, y'all. But what, 4 months? Maybe 4 months. Anyway, I joined BP to do something fun on the side because I love the jewelry, and you know, I wanted to get a little bit of discount, not a whole lot, a little bit of discount. And I don't know, I met so many new people and fun people, and you know, give discounts to other people because I know as a customer I wanted to have that as well.
So this is exactly how a lot of people get roped in. It starts off as this like just for fun thing. It looks really fun when you see other reps doing it, but before they know it, they are caught up in the grind of buying more inventory, selling more, doing these really, really time-consuming TikTok lives. But this is where it gets even messier, which is the team culture.
But as the months went by, you know, I didn't go into this for ranking to make money. I just did it for fun, y'all. You know, I have a full-time job. You know, I have a full-time job and 2 part-time jobs. So I have 3 jobs. I work 8 days a week, okay? And there's something on my glasses. Anyway, I work 8 days a week, if that tells you how much I work. And so, honestly, I was really, after Christmas, you know, it's flu and cold season, and flu and COVID and all this stuff is so bad, and patient load picks up with urgent care and stuff. And so I've really been having a hard time going live anyway, as most of you all know. So that's just, actually, I think this was a blessing in disguise, you know. But you know, my upline she was amazing. She's, you know, at first, and I don't know, y'all. You know what? When you're so focused on ranking and being higher than everybody else and being number one in everything you do, it's hard for you to really see the big picture of things and life. And you know, I was told a couple nights ago that I was not liked by my team, and that I was hurting everyone by giving codes and discounts to patients to customers. And yeah, I mean, it's like I had, you know, it's like, wow, I didn't know my team didn't like me, but you know, boo-hoo, like I really care. Anyway, you know, sorry, you know, I don't mean to say that insensitively, but I really don't think anybody in the team had any issues with me. They all were, no, they came into my lives and even bought from me. Yeah, because I gave them discounts. So, anywho, you know, it's just, when you got someone who's never wrong, you can't ever correct them. Nothing they ever do is wrong. Everything you say is wrong. You can't argue with them. So, you know what? And the way she went about it was very harsh.
All right, so in normal businesses, they would want you to attract customers. But in MLMs, giving something like a discount code is like a threat to the rest of the team. Because in most MLMs, the real money isn't coming from the actual product. It's coming from recruiting. I don't necessarily know what is exactly happening in Bomb Party. We're going to get into kind of the details that they do release to the public. But it is worth mentioning that MLMs in general, recruitment is what drives the business forward, which is why a lot of people say MLMs are pyramid schemes. So if we're going to wonder who is actually making money here, it's usually not the seller. Bomb Party reps don't just sell jewelry. They have to initially buy it. Every ring and every bracelet has to be purchased up front. And the more that they sell, the more that they're going to have to buy, because obviously they usually need to like replenish what they have sold out of, but they also want all that inventory behind them. They want their stock to look like it's full. So to make real money, likely they need to recruit. That's the setup. The company's going to get paid either way. People are buying from Bomb Party wholesale. They're getting all this inventory. So Bomb Party as a main company is making the money, but the sellers are going to get stuck stuck in a cycle of constantly spending more money to stay in the game. And when it comes to this income, we really don't even exactly know how much reps are likely making because Bomb Party makes it almost impossible to figure that out. They don't even release like a real income disclosure statement based on what I know of income disclosure statements. Unfortunately, there's really no regulations behind these. They don't even really have to have one that is published, but the one that they do have that I randomly came upon, because of course it's not very easily found on their website, within the document, it has these like vague things of you can make a little extra money, which sellers make up to $250 a month. A side hustle, sellers make $450 to $1,650 a month. Or a full-time career, sellers can make $15,500 to $89,000 per month. That is a massive range. But what we're missing here that we see in most income disclosure statements is what percentage of reps are making this amount of money. And of course, what I would love to know across every MLM is how much the reps are spending to actually make this amount of money. And in that clip, the rep says that she'd only been in for like 4 months. So I assume that she had the opportunity to be part of the Fast Start program. This is a program that most every MLM has. It means that there's bonuses that are upfront that kind of convince people like, ooh, look at all this money I can make. So usually it starts right when you join the company that you can get bonuses based on how many people you recruit and how much that you sell in an early time period of you joining. And I just briefly want to talk about their Fast Start program just because I found it very, very interesting. In Bomb Party, unlike other MLMs, these Fast Start bonuses are not even real money. And stick with me on this because I believe that all MLMs are bad. I believe that all MLMs are dangerous, but I think that this particular incentive bonus is especially ridiculous. Most MLMs at least try to make it look like their Fast Start bonuses are an actual monetary incentive. They are offering real cash bonuses to those reps that have hit their sales or recruitment goals. But not Bomb Party, it's not cash. They're giving the reps store credit. And this store credit expires in 60 days. And it can only be used on buying more inventory. So I see that as not being a real bonus. It's like a forced reinvestment in the company. If you actually were someone who did sales, you would make a commission, you'd get a payout, you'd get actual money. But Bomb Party reps aren't getting that. Instead, they are pressured to use this bonus credit to buy more inventory, even if they're sitting on piles of unsold jewelry. So if they don't move that product, they just lost more money. Okay, back to her video.
I'm not gonna, say anything else. I'm not bashing anybody. It's just, y'all, this industry is like, it's a pyramid. It's a pyramid scheme. Of course, y'all know that. I was hoping it would not turn into that because I really wanted to have fun and, have fun with others.
This is the trap. This is the trap of Bomb Party. I believe that it starts out lighthearted for a lot of people and then they get sucked in. They are pressured to buy more, sell more, stay loyal, don't go away from what the rest of the team is doing. And if you start questioning things, if you start doing things on your own because you say, hey, this is my own business, I'm going to offer discount codes, the team could turn on you, which sounds like what happened here.
I wanted to be able to do that and wasn't going to be able to continue doing that. So anyway, I was pretty much told stop giving the codes and, just give free shipping and stuff. And, that doesn't work that way. That's not how people come in and that's not how you get customers. And as a matter of fact, that's how she did it at first. But I guess she forgets that she did that. So, anywho, they're just, when they get into this, they're wanting more and more and more and more. And what's that called? That's called greed. And, and it's not my words, it's God's words. Money is the root of all evil. It truly is. It changes people for the worst.
So it seems like she went through this really nasty experience, but I'm happy that she got out and I hope that she doesn't fall into one of these things in the future. But there are so many other people who are stuck in this business. They are chasing a dream that is never going to happen. And that is why this conversation matters. I know it is so intriguing to see things like Bomb Party, these live sales on TikTok, but below the surface, it's not great. For every rep that gets out, there are still so many who are currently in it. They think that this is what business ownership looks like, but this is not business ownership. They don't own the business. They are 1099 contractors. This is a company who is making money off the reps who are the customers. They just don't realize that they are the customers. Just to watch another rep's live, you can see in this rep in particular, I always notice that behind her is like the craziest amount of inventory. There is so much. I have to assume that this rep is very, very high up in the company. I'm not entirely sure about that, but that is just my assumption. Take a look at that. There are so many boxes behind her on these shelves of different Bomb Party products. Rings, bracelet stacks, or looks like there's some awards.
If you didn't place an order, that's an awful lot of times to be asking me if you didn't order anything. All right, Miss Joanne. Let's get you a worry stone.
Oh, I just found a dolphin. Actually, I found a couple dolphins in here. And a couple critters left. Do you want a dolphin?
This is a good example of kind of like if you were just to have stumbled upon this TikTok live, you'd be like, what is happening? Just when the screen recording started, it was her mentioning like, that's a lot of times to be saying something if you didn't order from me. So it sounds like there may have been some discussion with someone in the comments that maybe she was upset about. And then all of a sudden she's digging over in something and goes, I have a dolphin. Like, it's just things like this where people are like, what is happening? So you're seeing these things. There's just like high energy. There's lots of music going on. I probably am going to have to cut out all the music and isolate just the audio out of all of these clips just because of copyright reasons. But rest assured, if you haven't seen them before, they are usually just blaring like really popular music. Some of the reps are doing worship music because they will involve prayer and religion in their TikTok lives.
Do you want a dolphin?
Yeah, there must have been something going on with someone named Melissa. Stop spamming people. Can pick if they ask. I answered you. She just let her know when it's your turn. Okay, so this must have been someone that ordered.
I thought I was out on my last live. Alexa, you have to do it from a computer now. It's annoying. I know, Broken Mama. People like that drive me nuts. They try to be cute and funny and they're not. It's not cute and funny. How many of you want me to let everybody pick so that the lives can take 4 times longer than what they take? Raise your hand if you want me to change the way we do it in here. That's why I don't even let those comments bother me, because the people that are in here do not want that. So I am not worried about what she has to say.
So basically what seems to be going on here is that a commenter had said something and the rep didn't agree to do what the commenter had requested that they do, I'm assuming in terms of reveals. And the reason that I'm including this is, again, I just feel like it's such a good example of like, feels like you're stumbling upon something that everyone else seems to know what the rules are except you. And that has that intrigue that, what is going on here? I want to be involved. It has that communal aspect. She even says, this rep asks the chat, do you guys want to do this thing and make the reveal last even longer? And everyone in the chat is answering, no, we don't want to do that, because they all know what's going on. But if you are just coming upon these things, you're going to be very confused. It looks very fun. The rep is kind of buddying with the people in the comments. It creates that communal atmosphere that people get interested in and they want to stick around. They start to form that parasocial relationship with the particular reps and they feel connected to them.
I'm good. And then you get, not only is it going to take forever, but then everybody's going to get filtered and ghosted on their lives or on their turn. So we'll be waiting even longer. I'm like, I know you're getting ghosted, but do you want 1, 2? Emma, calm down. Do you want 1, 2, 3, or 4? I'm not seeing you. You must be getting ghosted. Tag someone. Use the... Do you want 1, 2, 3, or 4? Like, who wants that?
Now we're seeing a ring.
emoji.
It's all happening so fast. Like, it's really hard to keep. I'm trying to follow up with the chat.
I know. Then, like, you're staring at your screen half the time because all of a sudden everybody's getting ghosted.
I still don't even entirely know what she's talking about with being ghosted. But yeah, there's definitely this intrigue of like, what is everyone talking about? It almost sounds like they're speaking like a different language. All right, now we're going to move on to talking about the comp plan. Now, even if you don't know a lot about MLMs, I'm going to try to break this down. We're not going to get into the nitty gritty of every single rank. But like I said, this is all worth talking about to kind of give you a bigger picture of what is going on behind the scenes, especially for the reps. First off, like we mentioned earlier, inventory. This is where it's a little bit different. With a company like Monat, where you're ordering shampoo, you'd get a link from the rep and then the company would ship it to you. But Bomb Party reps have to buy the products from the company and then they hold on to that inventory. They are not just directing people to the website. They have to pre-purchase everything themselves and they don't know what's inside and then they kind of just hope that they can sell it. They're not setting the prices. They're usually not able to like pick the styles. You can pick a collection, but you can't really pick the style of what ring you're going to get. And if they can't move it, that's their problem. It's not the company's. And I think one of the biggest issues is to make these these streams work, these live shopping events, they need a ton of inventory. You're not just going to have a stack of a few boxes of rings. We are talking entire walls of product behind these reps on shelves. Why? Because appearances matter. When someone is stumbling into a bomb party live, the setup is designed to make it look like it's this high energy, thriving business. And having a huge stockpile ensures variety so that when a buyer is coming through, they have enough options to pick like, okay, I want to order this. Oh, great, the rep does have it on hand and they can reveal it during a live. So this can mean things like having all sizes of rings at the same time because a new potential customer likely isn't going to wait around for a restock. They're probably just going to go to a different rep. And then they need these new collections constantly, which Bomb Party is revealing and releasing because Bomb Party thrives on hype. If a rep is like always out of like the good stuff, the popular stuff that customers are going to be buying, they're not going to make any sales. And the company obviously knows this, which is why the comp plan is built around having reps buy more and more inventory. It is not about just hitting sales goals. It's about sustaining this illusion that this is a successful business. And this is where it gets pretty messy because this isn't just a buy what you need, sell what you have type system. The structure is built to constantly keep you spending so that you can stay in the game. Even at lower ranks, the reps have PV, personal volume requirements, to stay active and to keep getting their commissions. So if they don't buy enough inventory, they're not going to get paid. And in Bomb Party, like every other MLM, the further up the ranks they go, the more downline sales they're going to need. There is no way to hit the high up ranks without having a massive downline below you. And that is what makes MLMs so predatory. New reps aren't going to see this, especially reps who have never been involved in network marketing. They're not going to see this and understand exactly what they're getting into. They're told you can just sell this jewelry, you're going to have a great time, but that is not the reality. They need to buy a ridiculous amount of inventory to keep up. They need to recruit to scale their income. There is no question about that. And they need to constantly spend money to stay in the system. And when those reps start to begin to question these things, their uplines are likely going to tell them you need to work harder, you need to go live more often, or just buy more inventory to have a larger selection. The system is rigged from the start. This is not a real business. This is a company who's making money off of reps who believe that they are business owners who are actually the customers. And this is where it continues to fall apart. Reps are not just struggling to sell this jewelry. They are dealing with the pressure of these TikTok lives and the absolute burnout that I assume that they're going through. And when that stress ultimately boils over, it usually leads to them sharing about it live on TikTok. We have seen reps who are fully melting down on camera. I recently covered one of a rep who is just cussing relentlessly at a troll.
Who the f*** she thinks she is? Bad, you're blocked. How about that? Go ahead and block this bitch alive, y'all. Do I got any mods in here? Somebody come block this bitch alive. Like literally, get off my live. This bitch here. Listen, I'm literally calling her to her face.
And as I mentioned in that video, I truly believe that these reps are not trained to deal with trolls in social media. Many of them didn't start as like an influencer on social media. They likely were just casual viewers or maybe buyers from another rep. And then they get roped into doing this thing. And then they're suddenly live on a social media platform that can sometimes have these, mean comments. And I don't believe that Bomb Party is like preparing them to be live every day. So when they start getting criticism, especially when they're seeing criticism on things like a subreddit about Bomb Party reps, many of them don't know how to handle it. And this paranoia, for lack of a better term, is bleeding into other platforms. For example, one rep who is regularly featured on a Bomb Party Snark subreddit, she has a Facebook group, and these are some of the questions that she has to join the group. I'm going to put it on the screen, but I'm kind of just going to sum up what some of the questions are. Prove your TikTok and Facebook accounts match. Swear to keep everything confidential. And then answer whether you belong to any groups that intend to cause harm. And so I'm obviously 99.99999% sure it is about these subreddits that regularly talk about this particular rep. And I know that because this rep who runs this Facebook group, she talks about it on her TikTok lives about Reddit, and she's very upset about it, which I can understand, but like maybe just don't go and look. She will complain about it on her lives. She has threatened to get attorneys involved. It definitely seems that she feels like she's being targeted. So it's not just like a friendly little Facebook group about jewelry. As far as I can tell, I'm not in the group. She knows that people are on a different platform talking about her. And I don't believe that it's because of some like deep investigation that initially started because people were like, what is going on with this rep? I think it's just because she reacts a lot and that, again, intrigues people. I did actually cover her in a recent video. This is a brief clip of how she was reacting when she was in a live about engagement with the people in her comments.
But Sierra, it says you have over 3,000 taps. More than 30 minutes and 3,000 taps with only 5 comments.
So what do these reps do in these situations? They kind of like lock everything down. They are screening people who get in. There's like layers of all this secrecy. And sometimes I'm just like, what is happening here? This is just mystery jewelry reveals. What is going on? It is just, I'm sorry, it's not normal for a casual side hustle. All right, moving back to the video of the rep who has recently left Bomb Party. I am going to skip ahead just a little bit. We're not really missing anything in terms of context, but I did just want to mention it.
I felt like a huge weight has been lifted off of me. Even though I liked doing what I did, I knew there was rejection from others that just kind of like, I don't know, I felt like I was in middle school and you're not being included in the group. But of course, you know, I never had that issue. I got along with everybody. So I guess that's the problem. You know, I was always the one. You ask anybody I went to high school with. Oh yeah, she talked to everybody. I was friends with everybody. I never have to worry about people not, you know, bullying me or, you know, not including me or whatever. So it's so funny how these grown women act like it's middle school, high school meets sorority. That's what it is. So no thank you. I'm too old for that. And anyway, not going to mention this anymore.
Based on everything she just said, it really does sound very like cliquey, very middle school, high school-esque drama. Like especially the way that she's talking about feeling excluded, or the fact of like hearing like the rest of the team doesn't like you. Like, whoa, harsh. And like realizing people were all talking about her behind her back. That's really, really sad. And again, I believe her, like so many reps, are genuinely joining because they think this is going to be super fun. She even said it multiple times. She joined because she thought it was fun. She liked the jewelry. She wanted the discount. But that's kind of the trap, right? At first, it's just for fun, and then suddenly there's all these rules. Suddenly, you can't give your own customers discounts. Suddenly, you're being told that you're not following the rules of the hierarchy of everyone on your team. And that is where that shift happens. These reps will join thinking that they're joining a team of people who are like-minded, just other sellers, like some sort of friendship. But it's not friendship, it's compliance. And when she stopped complying, the group turned on her. And things like this are just one of the many, many reasons as to why MLMs are not just bad business opportunities. They are full of manipulation. It's about keeping people not loyal to just the product, not even to the money, but like to the group. So the big picture here is for a lot of people, a lot of reps' experiences are showing us that this is not just some welcoming, warm community. Just like every other MLM, it is a system that is designed to keep people in line. These TikTok lives are pulling people in before they really figure out what's happening. You don't have to be following them. You don't even need an invite. You're just kind of stumbling upon these things. And suddenly you're watching, you're engaged, you're intrigued, you're interested. And the longer you stay, the more the algorithm is going to start feeding that kind of content to you. TikTok is winning. The sellers are winning, at least for a short period of time. And the audience, well, most of them are not even there by their own choice. They are likely just getting caught up in the chaos of it. But once you kind of get a better idea of how this works, the nonstop hype, the weird sense of urgency, and the way that TikTok benefits from you watching, it is hard to unsee. And if you want more, I have covered Bomb Party before in like the clips that I shared with you throughout this video. And if you want me to dig into more TikTok live schemes, because there are plenty more, please do let me know in the comments. And with that, that is all I have for you guys today. I really hope you enjoyed this one. If you haven't yet, please just double check that you're subscribed. If not, please consider subscribing. Leave a comment, leave a like. All those things really do help me to build out this channel. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!